What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to the Boo Bros YouTube channel, the Boo Bros podcast, more in specific. My name is Scott from SoCalExploring.
I am Rob with the Howling Hour.
And we're two parts of the Boo Bros. These videos have been kind of slow, and that's just because a lot of us are busy, but I am noticing something with the analytics, and I don't know if you're paying attention to this or not, Rob, but the podcast actually performed the best.
I think, just my opinion, I feel like people like to listen to that type of format. I mean, even if it's a video format, but like podcast style, that's something I just listen to like at work while I'm working. So that's awesome. Thank you so much for listening. We appreciate it. And we appreciate all of you.
I mean, I like it, right? Because I've always been one to be like, okay, podcast isn't going to perform that well. And I know people enjoy podcasts because I enjoy podcasts, but the fact that so early out of the gate with this channel, the podcast seemed to be the most praised and the most liked with the viewers, makes me happy, because I genuinely love sitting down and just rambling,
Yeah.
That is, and to get to do it with our friends.
Yeah, and I love to listen to people ramble, and so it works out perfect.
Literally. So it's like everybody loves a podcast. So if you guys are new here and you want to listen to more haunt related podcasts, today we're throwing in a couple different topics, Hollywood related. We'll throw some Orlando in there, but since it's just us two Hollywood guys, it's gonna be mainly Hollywood based. But if you guys want to listen to more, subscribe with those bell notifications on. Get us to 1,000 subscribers before HHN opening night, because we're close. I know we've been slacking a little bit, but we are close. So help us get there. Much appreciated. And if you're listening on Spotify or wherever you're listening to podcasts at, then make sure that you follow us on those platforms as well, so you never miss a Boo Bros podcast episode. Anyways, let's kick it off. Let's start off with Not Scary Farm, because we always start off with HHN, I feel. So let's start off with Not Scary Farm, because there's quite a bit that was revealed. First off, Not Scary Farm's happening. That's a confirmation that we got. And we saw the trailer with the conductor, which I actually had called in one of my early speculation videos, saying I think that this gravestone is in relation to the conductor. Everybody said I was wrong, but it's fine. And then we got the Scare Zone announcement, obviously. So I'll let you kind of segue your thoughts into this, just general thoughts right away.
I think it's cool. They're expanding on the lore of kind of Ghost Town and that area, and so I'm okay with it. I like it. I like just kind of making the park kind of themed, your section. I enjoy that, and they're doing a great job of it. There's nothing in that area that I would have been like, or how they're bringing the conductor in. I think it's smart. I think it's creative. A new Scare Zone. I mean, who doesn't love Scare Zones? I love walking through them. I love sitting there and watching people walk through them and get scared. So that I'm not going to complain about a new Scare Zone.
Literally, like if you guys haven't watched the trailer yet, there is a rumored new Scare Zone at the end. So we have Carnival, Ghost Town Streets, The Hollow, and Forsaken Lake, which are all Scare Zones that we've had in the past. And then we have Dia de los Muertos, which is not on there anymore, which I think that Forsaken Lake is just going to overtake the Fiesta Village section. Since it is just a small Scare Zone right now, I feel like it's just going to overtake Fiesta Village. With this Scare Zone, it seems to be taking a Roaring 20s vibe to it, right?
Yes.
Now, that's clearly what it is. There's nothing else that it could be. And the rumor is that it's going right after where they typically do the hanging and spanning all the way to the second entrance to Knott's. And which is a long portion. Usually they just have carnival clowns running around there, and there's not tons of scare actors, but they do have them there. But I guess my curiosity is like, what could they name this? What could we see in there?
Yeah, that's I mean, we're just not even speculating because they haven't really given too much detail as to what the zone the zone will be, exact details as far as what kind of characters will be in there. But I've always felt I think that area, they used to have a maze over there, but they took it out where the bumper cars used to be. I believe it was like the last time I remember was the Dia de los Muertos maze, and they had those kind of characters around there. But for the longest time, I feel like that's been like an empty section of the park. It's like, the back entrance area from, I feel like where the rapid rides is to the kind of now Berry Tales is right there. I feel like it's always been kind of empty, kind of just, no one's really going there. It's just a walk, to walk around to get to another section. So the
Yeah,
fact
like
that
I said, there's some scare actors, but there's
right,
not really a lot.
it's nothing themed there. So if they're gonna put something themed there, I think that's cool because they're definitely gonna bring more scare actors in there.
And I'll be excited to see it because that means it's one more additional scare zone.
Right,
Obviously, we're losing one, but with the 5 scare zones, there's a 4. No, it'd be 5 after this, whatever they announce it or whatever it is, or
right.
maybe it could just not be a zone at all. Um, I would think that this is the goal to, kind of surround the entire park to really make it to where there is no place to hide. You
Right.
literally cannot go anywhere besides like the bathroom to escape the monsters. Because if you take all these zones and lay them out on the map, then it shows that there's literally no place where there's not a zone covering. Ghost Town
Yes.
Streets covers like almost half the park. Carnival covers a good span. Forsaken Lake, obviously, I think it's going to take over Fiesta Village, and then the Hollow is covering Camp Snoopy. So then that just leaves that one empty area that you were just discussing right now. So I think that'll be exciting. I don't know what we could be expecting from it. I just know that it's most likely 80% sure it's going to be Roaring 20s themed. Knott's loves to go back to the roots in
Yeah.
recent years of history and whatnot. So I could only imagine that's what it's going to be.
I think it's if they do go with that theme, I think it's gonna be pretty cool just to see characters like in those type of outfits, their costumes. I think it's gonna be very creative. So I'm looking forward. Whatever they put there, I'm looking forward to it.
And one new thing that Scare Farm has introduced this year is the kind of icon of sorts of the conductor. And I want to preference this by saying I don't think that the conductor is really going to be an icon. I think he's going to play the same role as the Green Witch did a few years back. And I said this in my video that should already be out on my channel. But I think that he's going to be in there like throughout the event here and there. I don't think that he's going to be like the cover of the event as like Jack would at Halloween Horror Nights. I think he's going to have a huge part in it, but I don't think that Not Scared from wants to deem him as an icon, more of like a ringleader, if you will. But with that being said, with Knott's tying into their history and everything, I think that we could see the conductor in different locations, meaning we could see him in Origins potentially. We could see him play a part in the show, and all these things that I'm talking about is like I'm describing an icon. I just feel like Not Scared from doesn't want to use that term. I don't know. Am I just the only one on the boat here?
No, I mean, not that I would. I think it is. I think you're saying it right. That he would be an icon, like a new icon, such as like how we had the Green Witch and how she was just kind of up front and center. I don't know if, like you were saying, I don't know if they're gonna put him up front and center. I wouldn't mind it. It's a little bit of a switch, especially since like I mean, we have Origins and the witch has her spot in there. So, to kind of pay homage to, I guess, the conductors, this guy's new or, not new completely, but just, they're pushing him to the front. I wouldn't mind them putting him like in the spot where we had like the Green Witch, just to change it up a little bit, something new, something fresh. I think it could be cool. And he would still tie in possibly to Origins and kind of Ghost Town, which is, like you said, takes up half the park. So I'd be okay. I don't, like you're saying, I don't know why they're not calling him like an icon, but I think he is in those icon where they're putting him. He's in those that icon box. So
what's a weird thing is I feel like this was planned, but also kind of random for Knott's, because I haven't even gotten a press release for the announcement of the event and the scare zones. And I've asked multiple different sources if they've gotten a press release as well. They also said no. So that's just kind of weird. Are they trying to keep Scare Farm in the dark right now? I don't know.
I mean, just with everything going on, being here in California, I think they're holding off to make a full announcement till maybe they have an idea of what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Come September, October. So I think maybe that's why they're just holding off on making a full on announcement or, sending out press releases to people. So,
Sure. One thing that I wanted to touch up on is is the conductor, right? I have this crazy theory, and I don't think it will come true, but I think that Knott's needs to definitely think about that. So with the conductor, obviously the conductor is a part of a train. He leads the train, whatnot. We get the basis of that. Well, we have the normal train in the middle of the park that separates Ghost Town from like the log ride, which technically that is Ghost Town still. But then we also have the Calico Mine ride there,
Right.
which is also a train in its own fashion. And a few years ago, I want to say in 2015, we had an experience called My Bloody Clementine.
Yes.
Yeah, My
Yep.
Bloody
Yep.
Clementine. And they decked out the Calico Mine train to be spooky and scary, and not
Yes.
just spooky, it was terrifying because it was dark, it was scary. They had characters on the mine train. And it was kind of like a quick idea. They just didn't execute it to what it could be. They had generic characters in there that weren't really themed to the story. Now, I feel like Knotts needs to take this perfect opportunity to link the conductor in there. And it doesn't even have to be scary. He could just pop out here and there, and or he can be the narrator on the mine train, somehow spin it, because that attraction is scary, even without
Right.
the spookiness added to it. I feel like it's scary. It does scare some little kids. So I don't know. There's room for possibility there.
That's a great idea. It not crossed my mind, but now that you said it, that's a perfect idea for what they're doing with the conductor. You have the train right there. You have the mine right there. And I do remember when it was My Bloody Clementine, correct?
Yeah. And then before that, it was like the Witch's Lair or something.
Right. I remember those years going through there. And yes, there's little crevices and everything where they had characters pop out. Was amazing. I loved it. Like you're saying, I think with maybe a little more thought, they could execute stuff a lot better. Not complaining about the past mine rides that we had as far as them making it spooky, but with the conductor and theming it that way, I think that's a brilliant idea. As a matter of fact, Knott's, you better do that, because that's
think of it, right? The reason why it's a theory, and I say it's a crazy theory and it probably won't happen, but at the same time, it's in the back of my head like, okay, Knott's does Halloween Hootenanny, and they've had characters on there, and they also already did My Bloody Clementine. So they have history with this. It's not like they've never done it before. So why not do it again with the conductor? Yeah. I don't know. I think that's
a genius idea. That's smart. If they have smart people who work at Knott's, I guarantee that's probably been brought up. And so that's a genius idea.
I think that with the whole pandemic and everything that's obviously happened to budgeting and whatnot, Knott's is planning to shoot for the stars here for this event, which I'm excited about, because we didn't think that we're going to get this new theme of the conductor. They could easily just say, okay, we're going to have all these returning mazes and all this other stuff, and then that's it. That's just not Scary Farm. It's just going to be traditional, not Scary Farm. But Knott's is bringing us something new, which is exciting. Tickets go on sale August 16th. I'm assuming tickets won't go up in price. I'm sure they'll still be that $45 range, depending on what night you pick. And I'm sure that the season pass will be sold to the general public compared to just pass holders, but it will be very, very limited. Fright Lane, I would say yes. You think it's still coming?
Yep, definitely.
Yeah. I think all the normal ticket packages will still come. I just don't think that the buffet will be a thing.
No. Yeah. That's my favorite thing.
Because is it actually like, I've never done it before. Is it actually like a buffet?
It is like an actual buffet.
That's why I think that it may not come.
Oh, because people walking and
touching and whatnot.
That makes sense. Well, you know what? They man,
they could still do it. Just
broke my heart right now, Scott. You broke my heart.
I don't know. I don't see it happening. I feel like now, I forgot, someone tweeted out, like, I just went to a buffet and I forever hate this now after the pandemic.
Here's the thing, and this is what I'm holding true, and I'm being positive about it. I hope that things get better.
Yeah.
So we can have the buffet, because like I said, I think August,
because with early entry and everything too, that's like such a good
deal. dude. Okay. Side note, real quick. Because me and my wife do the buffet. Typically, my birthday's in October, so we usually hit it that Saturday, whatever Saturday's closest to my birthday.
Yeah.
We do the buffet, and we do get early entry. and I get to ride Ghost Rider a couple times, and we usually hit those back 4 mazes, whatever's, but it's usually like
Paranormal and whatnot.
paranormal, all that. We hit those 4 mazes before the park even opens. Like the park doesn't open.
I know it's all like it'll be daytime.
Yes. So I mean, I'm all about the buffet, especially that early entry. But then
everybody's running to those mazes when you can just walk to the other one.
Just casually. There's no. I mean, I on my channel, the Howling Hour. One year I recorded just going in. We went from the depths to Paranormal Inc. And there's no one in line. Like it's just us because we got the early entry.
Literally early entry.
I mean, not early entry. Yeah, early entry with
early
the
entry is so good at Knott's. Like there's actually no lines with HHN. It's kind of a hit or miss. If there's no lines with Knott's, there actually is no lines ever for early entry.
1 year with the early entry, we had the skeleton keys. I don't know if you remember those.
Yeah, I miss those so much.
And yeah, me too. And we did the forevermore, but we got to do the skeleton key room, just me and my wife. The greatest,
terrifying.
Yes, and they had her like pull the heart out of someone.
Yeah,
amazing. It was one of the greatest moments I've had at a theme park.
Yeah, just because that's like your own unique experience right there.
Yes, and all thanks to early entry. Thank you, Knott.
So hopefully they have these different ticket options available. And yeah, I just wouldn't. There would be no reason why they wouldn't bring early entry, but I could see their reason for them not continuing the buffet.
Right.
That's all we have on Knott's. Really, I'm sure more news will come out. It seems like Knott's is really trying to follow the trend of HHN and put out announcements every Thursday, kind of like a competition. And speaking of competition, guys, Rob and I were talking.
Here we go.
The recording went on. You guys need to stop comparing the two in a competitive manner, because they both have their pros and cons. Stop saying one sucks and one's good. So I don't know. It's just dumb. We all love the haunts. Yes. They offer two different things.
Yes. And like we were saying before, when I started going to Knott's a little later, like 2011, but I was already going to HHN, with family and stuff. And, I heard these comparisons, and once I did Knott's, I was just like, there's no way you can, yes, you can, but logically, like if you think about it, you don't compare the two, because Knott's is like, they're doing their own thing and it's awesome. And Universal, they typically, it's movies, like it's, they're walking on a movie set with their mazes
right there.
Yeah. So it's like, there's two different styles. I don't understand why people would compare them and to be like, oh, well, this one's better than that one.
Also, when you're expecting a certain quality at one compared to the other, it's just two different things. Knott's is obviously, it's a lot cheaper to put up original mazes, and like, especially since they have a bunch of returning stuff compared to HHN, where they're doing full-fledged out new stuff.
Right.
Except for this year, which is our next topic.
Oh, man, here we go.
So right now, as the HHN Hollywood lineup stands for this year, confirmed, they have The Exorcist, The Texas Chainsaw Massacre, The Haunting of Hill House. God, I already forgot the lineup.
Hill House,
Pandora's Box,
and Pandora's Box. Yes.
I think that's it. I think it's just 5 confirmed right now. Pandora's Box, Hill House, Texas Chainsaw, Exorcist.
Yes.
Yep. So yeah.
Did we get a confirmation for the Terror Trap or no?
No, that's just still a rumor. Okay, which I'm assuming we'll get word on that next week, as well as the mysterious Halloween 4 facade that's popped up in Waterworld. Maybe Michael will be a part of the Terror Tram this year. Who knows? But okay, Rob. Honestly, what do you think about this lineup?
Okay, so I'm gonna
pandemic and all,
everything, taking that into consideration, I'm okay with the lineup. Yes, we get some returning mazes. We're getting a couple new mazes here in Hollywood. So that's cool. I don't, with Exorcist, them putting it in the soundstage, that wouldn't have been my choice. There was another maze I wanted to go in there, and that was Hill House.
Yeah. For sure. Hill House.
Yeah, but I think here's the thing. I have not an issue with The Exorcist, but The Exorcist wasn't one of the best mazes for me. And it's going in.
I think me and you were talking about this.
Yeah. I don't like that it's in the soundstage. I think that in the soundstage, for what was in The Exorcist when I went through it, I don't think it's worth putting it in there. I'm okay with it coming back. I'm fine with it. It was a very simple maze. I'm not going to talk about, how the transitions to each room that were the same room, because we all know what those are. But I wish it was somewhere else. Again, I don't have an issue with it returning. I wanted Hill House in there. I'm okay with the lineup, being pandemic and all, them bringing, a lot of stuff that they already had, bringing it back. We get a couple new mazes. I think the one main issue I'm having, and let me just say this up front, I'm excited to have HHN back, but the one issue I have up front is how much the ticket prices were.
Yes.
For the returning stuff, and I understand. I always try to think positive and think, okay, well,
Think of it from the other side,
right? So, but I'm just like it, and I already got my ticket. I already paid the money, but it's like for these returning mazes, I just wish it was maybe $30 to $40 less. And as far as like the general admission ticket, maybe like $60, somewhere to 60 to 80 would have been okay. But my issue is with the tickets and how much they cost, and they really didn't give us a break on the prices. I feel like they're just like, oh no, you're gonna pay this anyway, so just pay it and come. And that's what I did.
The thing about it is, and I want to say this, I don't get it twisted, right? I am excited for HHN to be back, and
Yes.
Pandemic and all, we understand that certain sacrifices have to be made and certain budget cuts have to be made. And, some people will say, oh, well, then just don't go if you don't like the lineup. And it's just like, but obviously I'm going to go. Like, I still love the event. Am I going to criticize it? Yes, I am going to criticize it, but I wouldn't criticize it if the ticket prices weren't so high. Like you said, I feel like ticket prices should be lowered by at least $10. Okay. And even though it is a business, Scary Farm, and like I said, I hate to compare the two, but since those are the two big haunts in Hollywood, Scary Farm charges around $45 for their haunts, and they deliver with 10 mazes and all these different experiences and whatnot. And, it's a good event. Whereas HHN, even though, yes, they do put more money into their mazes and put more money into their experiences, when you have only two new properties this year, then it's just like, we forgot about Monsters, Bride Frankenstein Lives.
Okay, there you go.
When we only have two new properties this year, then you're charging the same amount as you would in 2019, where you had a full lineup of new properties. Where is the line drawn? That is the issue here. And yes, I'm still going to pay the money. And yes, I'm still going to go. Yes, I'm still going to continue to film this event because I love the event. It's just like, we as fans and we as consumers should be allowed to deliver constructive criticism.
Yes.
And, I may talk a lot of crap on Twitter and talk a lot and in like the group chat too. It's true. That's it. That's just it. It's just truth. It's just, us as consumers should be allowed to say certain things like that. I never take it too far to say, screw Murdy, he's an idiot. I will never say that. And we may poke fun at him and stuff like that, but I'll never say that. There's people out there that will just be like every tweet that Murdy puts out, they'll just like tweet a black wall and shit. It's just dumb. It's dedication.
Here's the thing. And I love your tweets, Scott, because I know you, so I know where they're coming from, and they make me laugh.
And the thing is, like, people who know me personally, like Rob, it's like they know who I am. Like I'm not this like menace to society. Like I'm calling it as I see it.
Or are you a menace to society? Who knows?
I'm just playing a part on YouTube.
Here's the thing: is again with the prices, whatever. We're still going, and like you said, in my opinion, this is just my opinion. I feel like I've been going long enough, and I've been paying money into this. When I criticize it, I'm not doing it in a malicious way, or to be like, oh, I'm going to be negative about this just to be negative. Mm-hmm. The little things that I criticize, I do it out of I want to make the event better, or I would like to see this. And again, they don't. I'm just me. They're not going to listen to me.
But they do they do see stuff here and there. Right. Like, okay, let's see what the fans are. And if you guys want any changes, I recommend taking those surveys when they ask you right before you leave.
All the time.
I've taken so many of those.
I do it every time I'm there. I always take the survey. My wife
Mhm.
gets mad at me because I get stuck there for another 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah, but then you get to
Like,
go in like the VIP like area upstairs and everything, so it's like a
yeah,
cool thing.
yeah.
No, I agree with you about like the times going too. It's like I've been going since 2010. I feel like I've seen enough HHN to be able to criticize it, of what it used to be. And one thing that a lot of people, well, I haven't really said it publicly yet. I've just kind of said it in the group chat. I mean, I've said it to a couple other people. Is I wish that, and some people would agree with this, some people would think it's stupid. I wish that Hollywood would turn to the Orlando layout, where you have 2 to 3 IPs, which IPs make the event. They make Hollywood's event, and that's a fact. But now it's gotten to a point where in this day and age, it is so hard to lock down properties, and
Yeah.
they put so much money into locking down these properties, and then they don't get it, and it gets scrapped in July. And then what do you have to do? You have to bring a replacement in of a former maze, or you have to just throw together a crappy original. Now, if they only focus on 2 to 3 intellectual properties, and they were able to start getting them in like January, they could start building very early. Now, if you do, let's say, max 3 properties, and then you do, I don't know, 4 originals,
Okay.
you can start planning those originals at the end of this year's event. And yes, Murdy already starts planning next year's event right as soon as the current year ends, but he's not actually doing what Orlando does, where they're actually drawing up concepts and they're actually getting ready to start building in February. And I feel like if they really took the time to draw originals and think about them and start building early, then Hollywood fans would be more appreciative and be like, wow, HHN kills it. With the very exclusive IPs that we only get to see 3 a year of, it makes the demand a lot higher and makes fans
Yes.
more hyped when they announce those IPs. And that's just my take on it. It saves money, and also at the same time, it saves the production value because they could put a lot more time and effort into it while spending less money.
No, that's I mean, smart, and it gives us, we're getting something new every year.
Yeah.
And like you were saying, it puts a higher value on the IPs that we do get. And so I think it's smart. I don't know why they don't, adapt that over here.
Yeah, because Orlando's had success with it every year.
Oh yeah. I
They
think
still have the IPs, like they still market the hell out of them. They can still be the face of the event.
I think maybe they're like, okay, this is what's been working, so let's just stick with what
Yeah.
we do.
It's kind of like we're gonna keep doing the same thing,
Yeah.
And I think that it may be like I don't know. I think that it may be a back end thing, like a back end Hollywood thing, a back end Orlando thing that us fans don't know about. And that's
Okay.
just me speculating, because why else wouldn't they take over the lane? And we slowly start to see the transition of Hollywood starting to take that role of Orlando. I mean, they already took over the Hornets Twitter account, and they're tweeting all these like, funny tweets and whatnot, like Orlando does. So hopefully that's the start of it. But I don't know. I'd be for that. I'm open to that, because then it gets better quality mazes, while also, like I said, still having those exclusive IPs. Think of it, right? What IPs, when you look at a lineup, do you really say, oh, I wanted to see this entire lineup for a long time? No, you say, man, I wanted to see Ghostbusters for a really long time, and that was it, But like you don't say, I wanted to see Frankenstein meets the Wolfman for a really long time, even though it was a great maze. I'm saying,
Right.
as it is. You don't go and say, oh, I wanted to see Stranger Things 2 for a really long time. You say that one property. Beetlejuice is a prime example, even though it seems like we're not getting it this year. Ghostbusters was a prime example. Trick or Treat was a prime example.
Oh yeah.
You only get those exclusive IPs that you're really excited for, and that you say, oh, wow, I wanted to see that for a long time. You do enjoy the other properties, but you're only really anticipating the 1 or 2
Well, I
that
think
you've been
that's
wanting to see for a while.
I think that's how you kind of get the casual fan in, is with certain properties. Like I have a friend who I think Exorcist was 2016, right?
Yes.
So I have a friend who was not like into horror. I mean, they liked horror, but they weren't into going to horror nights.
Mm-hmm.
But they seen that The Exorcist was coming to 2016,
Exactly.
and they were like,
and
"I'm
everybody
gonna go
knows
to
that.
Yeah, they're like, I'm gonna go to that because I want to see that. So I mean, I agree with you. I think that, you know, them doing this would bring in more, because like you're saying, you're never like, oh, this 2017, all these mazes, I wanted to see all these mazes. It's
Yeah, like
always
I wanted to
like
see Ash
one
versus
maze.
Evil Dead. Like I've been
Yeah.
wanting that. Like, no, you don't really say that.
Yeah.
Like it's exciting, like I said, to see it, but you know, you never. It's not on your wish list. I have a specific wish list of HHN mazes I want to see. It's getting more and more minimal, but you know, that's just how it
I
is.
just want to see a Scream maze.
Yeah, one Scream's on there for sure. There's a couple others on there. Halloween Kills is obviously on there. You know, or Halloween 2018. I'm sorry.
I wanted to.
Yeah. We already got our monsters maze, so it's like
Yeah.
it's cool that we're getting all these monster mazes, which are originals, you know, and those could be IPs in their own terms.
Right.
So
Also, I wanted Fright Night. I want Fright Night there.
Fear Street.
No. Not, oh yeah, Fear Street
No,
too.
yeah,
but I
I'm
mean,
saying
like, I
like
mean,
Fear Street. Yeah.
I mean,
No, I know, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But also like I just want to get my thoughts on The Exorcist. I do agree with you. I think that it was a fun maze, but it wasn't the best. Do I wish it was in a different location? Yes, Hill House should have been the soundstage maze. But this is just a prime example of Hollywood making bad decisions. Why would you not put Hill House in a soundstage? Like why? Like was it a last minute replacement? Like why would you not put it in the soundstage? Because we're not even gonna get the house facade like Orlando has. Have you seen their facade for Curious George? It's just a square.
Yeah.
Oh man, it just sucks, you know? Could you imagine the possibilities if they put like a lot of their budget into Hill House? That would have a 2.5 hour wait every night.
Oh yeah, definitely. The thing is like this is why it's, I guess, upsetting for me.
Yes. Yes.
When I watched the Haunting of Hill House on Netflix, the first season, I watched it, and the first thing I thought was like, this would make an amazing soundstage maze at Horror Nights. That's the first thing that popped in my head, because I'm a horror fan. Anytime I see a horror movie, I'm like, how can they make this at Horror Nights? And when I seen Hill House, I was like, the facade, like, just Orlando's is just they killed it, and I wish we had that in the soundstage. But
and you know, the one thing that is pulling me away from really tearing into Hollywood is the fact that we have Orlando this year. You know, like that's a fact. Are you going to Orlando yet?
I'm not going. I'm gonna have to live through you guys going and watch all your videos and whatever I can.
It's not too late, Rob. It's not too late.
I know.
You can still go. There's plenty of time to book.
Let me book my ticket right now.
Let me tell you, it wasn't that expensive.
I'm thinking about it. The only reason I'm not is because like me and my wife and her family are going on vacation late September, so that's kind of where my money's going right now. So that's the only thing. I'm just like, okay, we're going on vacation,
like a weekend, like a 2-night, you know.
Yeah. I'm now
just so you can experience what a good house is.
I'm gonna fly over there, go through it, and then just fly back all in the same 24-hour span. Yeah, there you go.
So you did it. But yeah, at least Orlando exists, because if it weren't for Orlando this year, then I don't know if I'd get to experience a good Hill House. But that's all we really had to talk about for Horror Nights. I don't really want to rip in it too much. I really said all I wanted to say.
Yeah, we love Horror Nights though. We love Horror Nights.
We do. There's no we will always criticize it, and that's just a fact. You'll always see me in Boo Bros video or in these videos. I will always criticize it. That's just a fact, you know. But speaking of non-spooky, like, well, it is kind of spooky. Oogie Boogie Bash is returning, so that's fun. Did you get a chance to go to that?
I never went to that.
I
was asking you about it. I've never been to it, but I think we might go this year. We're just debating if we want to take our godchildren or not, because it might just be me and Robin.
Yeah, I'd recommend just doing you guys, and then if you wanted to, just do it with the godchildren, because it is so much fun. If you guys have not been to Oogie Boogie Bash, get your tickets right now, because they will sell out very soon. I don't think that they're sold out already. Everyone was viciously trying to get tickets, but I knew from 2019 they didn't sell out right away. They sold out within a month. So get your tickets right now. Oogie Boogie Bash is an fabulous event. There's so much to do, especially now with Avengers Campus open. If they have it open during the run of the event, wow, the wait times on Web Slingers is going to be awesome. And not only the wait times, but like we did each trick or treat trail twice. which was awesome. You know, we got so much candy, but it's not even just about the candy, because I ate like one candy bar. It's just the feeling of trick-or-treating and feeling like a kid, and then obviously seeing the different characters up on their stages and stuff. So highly recommend you check out Oogie Boogie Bash, because it is coming back this year to Disney's California Adventure. It's going to be way better than the After Hours Boo Bash. That's for sure. We shared our hot takes on that on one of the most recent podcasts of Boo Bash, which is a complete ripoff. But I promise you, Oogie Boogie Bash is not a ripoff, especially now with the parade. I didn't think that they're going to do that parade this year, but they are. And then they're doing Villains Grove, which is its own like little walkthrough Halloween experience, which is really fun.
Yeah, you're telling me about that, and that sounds exciting. I would want
the projection in there and everything is awesome. I wish that they need a standalone Nightmare Before Christmas ride in DCA.
That would be cool.
Like, screw Monsters Inc., you know. Like, and I'm tired of getting rid of. We literally get Haunted Mansion, classic Haunted Mansion, for like 6 months out of the year,
and then they shut it down because
literally.
Yeah.
No disrespect to Holiday, but the classic's where it's at. You know, they just need their own Nightmare Before Christmas standalone ride with some crazy Jack animatronic and all this other stuff.
I could just see them all big and lanky, just
exactly around. And then all of a sudden he just like eats you. But that's going to do it for today's Boo Bros podcast, everybody. I hope we covered what you were looking for between Scary Farm, Oogie Boogie, and HHN. We're trying right now to push out as much content as possible. Obviously, with me and the new job, it's hard to film. We all got jobs. We're all very busy. It's just, we're busy, you know, and we're busy with our individual channels, but we promise a Boo Bros content, especially during the haunt season, man.
Yes.
The vlogs are going to be nuts, because there's a lot of videos that I don't want to put on my channel just because I don't feel like it's worth making it for my audience. But for the Boo Bros audience, I know for a fact they'd enjoy like an 8-minute vlog of a home haunt. You know, I know that they'd enjoy that. So be looking out for that content. And you guys, the High Desert Haunt video was well received.
Yes.
Very well received. That Rob filmed.
I will be going back to that. I believe August 13th. It's Friday the 13th. So I'll be going back to they're doing another event. So I'll be going back to that.
So yeah, if you guys like more of that stuff, make sure you subscribe with those bell notifications on.
Yes.
But for today, my name is Scott from SoCalExploring.
And I am Rob with the Howling Hour.
And we have been a part of the Boo Bros.